everybody. It's Sports Guy Ron. I'm here with your 2025-2026 Western Conference NHL preview and predictions, playoff predictions. In the Central, first I have Colorado. Last year they were third in the division. They brought in Brent Burns for the defense, a good veteran. Charlie Coyle and Miles Wood went out. Not really a big, huge losses in my opinion. I just think Colorado's ready to not coast through the regular season. They got Landeskog back, so hopefully for the entire regular season. I think that's going to help them, and I'm thinking that they're going to win the division. In part because I think there's been losses at the top of the division from last year, and we'll get to that next. Second, I have Winnipeg. They brought in Pearson, Gus Nyquist, one of my favorite veteran players, and Jonathan Toews is coming back. We'll see what he has left. They did lose Nikolai Ehlers. That's a big loss. So I'm thinking Winnipeg, they're coming off where they led, they are the points winner. I think they're going to take a slight step back from that. That usually happens. So I'm going to go with Winnipeg finishing second. In third, I have Dallas. They were second last year. Out, Mason Marchment, Dodonov, Granlund, and Dumba. They didn't really bring in because they were very bad against the salary cap. So they've made losses. They still got a lot of good players. You got Rantanen there. You've got Rope Hintz, all the good guys that they have. They also, their captain Jamie Benn's going to be out for a while, it looks like. So that's also another loss. So that's why I have them finishing third. In fourth, I have Minnesota. They brought in Vlad Tarasenko and Sturm. They lost Gaudreau. Zuccarello looks like he's out a couple of months. I always try to find reasons to put Minnesota lower, but they always end up making the playoffs and being up higher. They're finally out of their salary cap situation with the Parise contract and such. So I think that Minnesota, they're going to finish fourth. In fifth this year, I think Utah. They finished sixth last year. They got J.J. Peterka. Brandon Tanev's a good veteran. They lost Kessering and Doan in the Peterka trade. I like the way that this organization is going. There's a lot of excitement. I think Peterka helps the offense. As long as they keep getting solid goaltending, then I think that they can make the playoffs this year. I think both the playoff wild cards come out of the Central. It's way stronger to me than the Pacific, although Vancouver could surprise. But I'm thinking Minnesota, Utah are your wild cards. In sixth, I have St. Louis. I have a hard time leaving them out of the playoffs, but I'm going to do it this year. They did bring in P.S. Suter, Nick Bukestad, Malu in the trade. Bolduc is out. I think that's a big loss. The reason I'm putting St. Louis down is last year we had the stoppage in the middle of the year. Binnington played lights out against the U.S. He played lights out in that whole tournament, and that kind of springboarded him all the way through the end of the season, and let St. Louis come back from their hole and make the playoffs. I don't think that happens this year. I think Binnington's a little more pedestrian, and I think that that's going to lead to them being behind the other five teams by a couple points. Seventh, I have Nashville in. They have Haig and Holla out. Colton Sissons, who's been there forever. I just think Nashville, I don't think they have the mix right. They were bad last year, even with the high-priced free agents they brought in. I just don't see that much improvement. I'm picking them seventh. Is it a possibility? I suppose. I just don't see it. In eighth, I have Chicago. They're getting better. They brought in Burakovsky, Lafferty, Grzelcyk. I just don't think it's enough. They're a building team. They've got Mazar, Bedard. They're going to be great. But for now, they're in eighth place. In the Pacific, I have first place, I have Las Vegas. They were first in the Pacific last year. I don't see any reason not to pick them first in the regular season. Playoffs, they're playoff tested, but we'll see how the new mix goes. Alex Pietrangelo is not going to play at all this season, so that's not good. They're losing Nick Waugh, but they brought in Mitch Marner. What Mitch Marner do we get? Does it take him a while to get accustomed to Vegas? That's a question. Is it going to take a while for everybody around the mix to readjust to if they have new line mates, such? I don't know. I still think they're first in the Pacific. We'll see what happens come playoff time. I don't think Marner has been as bad in the playoffs as some make it out to be, but we'll have to see it to believe it, I guess. And I guess Vegas is the place to do it with all the other talent they have around there. With Eichel re-signed. He's got now a long-term contract, so he's going to be there a while. They're a very good team, playoff team, and we'll see what they do in the playoffs. Second, I have Edmonton. They were third last year. They brought in Isaac Howard from Tampa, kind of poached him. I think that's a good move. They did lose Connor Brown. That's going to hurt. Arvidsson, he didn't play that great. Evander Kane, who didn't play at all in the regular season, but is a playoff performer. I think they'll miss him in the playoffs somewhat, but we'll see. But Edmonton's my pick to win the Stanley Cup this year. I just think they've been close the last two times. I think they get over off the schneid, over the hump, whatever cliche you want. I think Connor gave everyone a signal when he took less money on his extension that they're going to do something at the deadline. If that means adding a new goalie, that might be possible, or a strong winger, that's also possible, or both. I think that Edmonton's going to get it done this year. Third is Los Angeles. They were second last year. Out goes Gavrikov and Spence. That's a lot to lose, in my opinion. They brought in Ceci and Dumoulin. I mean, they're veteran guys. Ceci's bounced around a lot. Dumoulin's pretty good, but he's older. I think they take a slight backwards to third. They're not going to be, they're going to be around 100 points, but not like whether they 106 or 108 last year or something like that. I think they're the clear third place team in the Pacific, because I don't think anyone below them can pass them, and I don't think they have enough to beat Vegas and Edmonton. I think they go probably and lose to Edmonton again, and I don't know, in the playoffs again, I don't know what happens, but in the offseason, but that's my prediction for the season. In fourth, I have Vancouver. Last year they were fifth. They brought in Evander Kane. I think that's a smart deal for them. I think he brings something that they need there. I know they re-signed Brock Besser, so that's good. They still got the Quinn Hughes situation kind of lingering over there. I'm not sure if he's going to want to, make a long-term decision, or he's going to try to go play with his brothers. We'll see about that. Dakota Joshua and Arthur Shelovs are out, although Shelovs really didn't play for the parent club. I think he's going to do well in Pittsburgh. So I think Vancouver's fourth. I think they have a chance to get to the wild card. I just think they fall a little short. Anaheim is fifth. I think they finished sixth last year. I think that they're going to be an improved team. They brought in Chris Kreider to help on the power play. That's going to help. Mikael Granlund. Out, John Gibson. He was up and down. He wasn't really going to be the number one goalie now with Dostal. So I think they made a smart decision to get him out. The one I question is Trevor Zegras. Although he didn't seem to fit here, I think he's talented. Maybe a change of scenery to Philly will help him. We'll see. So I think Anaheim, I think they're going to be better. I think they're going to knock on the door of the other playoff on the wild card. I just don't think they have enough. I think they'll finish fifth. And sixth, I have Calgary. They finished fourth last year. They've got a lot of young, good players. They could really surprise. They could actually go way higher than this, up maybe even compete with LA. But I just don't think, we'll have to see if Dustin Wolf can repeat what he did last year. Yes, he can. He's a very good goalie, but they don't have Vladar backing him up. How's that going to pan out? They're going with the youth movement. They've had a quiet off season. I think that perhaps they take a slight step back before a large leap forward next season. In seventh, I have the Seattle Kraken. They finished seventh last year. They brought in Marchment, they brought in Eric Lindgren, and they brought in Goudreau. No major outs. They need Philip Hedl to be healthy for an entire season if they want to take a step. Marchment, Lindgren, Goudreau, they might all be able to work in. They've surprised before. They could move up. The West is way more competitive, in my opinion, than the East is. So I think Seattle could move up, but in the loaded West, I think they finished seventh. And eighth, I think this is pretty much the worst team points-wise in the league. I think it's going to be San Jose. They're farthest away in their rebuild, although I like some of the pieces that they've got. They brought in Jeff Skinner, Dmitry Orlov, and Nedeljkovic as veterans to help out. Maybe they'll be a little more respectable this season, but I just don't think they have enough to even move up out of eighth. So that's my Western Conference preview. I hope you liked it. If you do, give it a like. Maybe subscribe to my channel. I'm going to have some more hockey content. I have lots of football content. So hopefully you'll enjoy it. And if you do, give it a like or subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Have a nice day.